Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a very warm welcome to you all joining me for another Precious Metal Ramble where we have down-to-earth discussions about all things precious and shiny. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the silver's price today. Of course, silver price has dropped down quite a lot. Bullion by Post, not sponsoring today's video, I will hasten to add, and if anything I might call them out a little bit on some of their pricing, because at the moment silver is down, but premiums are still massively up, and a lot of people are buying silver from anywhere that it is in stock, and that includes places like eBay, where just today's the 28th of October as I'm filming, and somebody just today has spent £1,294, which is very close to £52 an ounce for silver Britannias. And that is, of course, against a backdrop of £35 an ounce. So that's £17 an ounce difference. Now, the basics. You cool kids and all the people who've already bought lots of silver and know all about silver stacking, you understand premiums, but a lot of people don't. And a lot of people will see things like this price on here for £1,300, £52 an ounce, and think, yeah, okay, I'm going to buy it. That's what the price is for silver, because you go to a bullion dealer's website and you look and you try and find bullion, and it's here and it's cheapest at £55.80. Even on some of the other bullion dealers' websites that have silver at more competitive prices, I'm going to shout out Atkinson's and Chard's. They're both long-term channel sponsors of us here on this channel. They are great dealers, but even they at the moment are asking quite high premiums for items. That's not unheard of in this world. Look, their premium here, £47.62. This is probably before tax points coming in. And again over here, £51.20, but awaiting stock. Now, I'm not calling out the dealers for making a profit margin. That's the nature of the market. And unfortunately, with the way the silver is right now and the shortage, inverted commas, we will put an inverted commas around those words, shortage of silver, because it's just a supply chain issue. There are plenty of resources of silver out there and it will all come down in time. I've seen it plenty of times before. But the dealers aren't profiteering here. Some dealers might be profiteering more than others, but most dealers are not profiteering. They are just simply moving the goalposts of where their buy price is and compared with where their sell price is. And most of them will make exactly the same margin, whether they're selling it at 47 or 52, just depends on what they bought it in as. But the people that lose the most out of all of this are the people buying with that VAT attached, with that money out of the pocket straight to the government. And with silver price being a lot higher right now, unfortunately, the VAT is a lot higher right now. And one of the biggest problems is like in big chunky bits of silver, like just buying a big kilo bar. £1,700 or £1,600 for a bite now, £1,600 here on a auction over the weekend. You see these prices and it just, the mind boggles. These people who are buying these bars at these prices, you are going to be losing money if you sell it anytime soon. Welcome to the wait for a very long time to sell your silver at profit club. That's what I'm going to say. So if you go over to the likes of Bullion by Post and you have a look at what their sell price, or sorry, their buy prices, they're paying spot £1,134 for a kilo. Look, there's the spot price up there in the top right corner. They're paying actually £1 over spot. How generous of them. We go to some of the other dealers, and again, not calling out the dealers for just their buy and sell prices, because this is just what the dealers do. It's their margins. They have this. And if you scroll down here, we can see kilo bars. Are they even on this list somewhere? They must be somewhere. There you go, kilo bars. Atkinson's just don't want to buy kilo bars right now, so they're offering even less because they know that they can't shift them, because most of the people who go and buy from Atkinson's are a little bit more savvy. And so they know, Atkinson's know, that if they buy these bars in, all they can really do is just shift them off to be melted, because they're not going to be able to sell them. And the same with the likes of Chard's. Haven't checked their sell prices, their buy prices, so let's have a look and see what they're paying. They're paying around spot price as well. So perhaps we can learn from this that shopping around is a good thing. Atkinson's, perhaps maybe you should increase your buy price on the kilo bars of silver. But still, it remains 1,134, 1,132, 1,040 against a spot price, sorry, a buy price even, of over £1,600. Where's my tab? There it is, £1,600 plus for these bars. Now, the other argument is that a lot of people are speculating on this, that they will buy this now and then it's silver in hand, and that's better than having no silver because there's no silver available and there's people queuing outside bullion shops for their silver and so on. And yeah, that's a certain thing. And maybe people will buy this silver at 1,600 and sell it the next week on here I mean, look at this. This is the same picture. So this is the same seller selling multiple bars. Maybe he's bought a big batch and he's flipping them and he's making £100 a bar. Everyone's got to eat. Everyone's got to make their money. But unfortunately, one person is going to be left holding the bag, and that is the person who buys at the top. And unfortunately, that can be quite hard to stomach. And we've only got to look at charts. In fact, we have to go back longer than 10 years now because it was over that time period ago. We can only just go back to here in 2011 and look at see what happened. We've got this big spike here where it went up to nearly £30 an ounce in 2011. And then just 4 years later, £9 an ounce. It dropped by 300%. Crazy. And then look how long it took to get back up to 30. It's mad. So what would I suggest to all of you fine, wonderful people who are looking to buy silver right now? Well, if you're looking to buy silver right now, then buy it responsibly. If you're buying silver, don't pay over the odds, because realistically, you've got to look about how you're going to make money on it or how you're going to release your money from your investment. What I would say is that if you're buying silver, you're going to be up against it with the tax. If you're buying gold, you're a much better chance of actually making profits. And of course, going back to, so for those who don't know, Bullion Post not sponsoring the channel. I'm giving them some airtime on this because they have some good things going on. They do pay well for some of their products that they buy in. They are a little bit more expensive than some of the other dealers on the selling side of things, but they do have really good charts. That's one thing I've always used them for, and I always enjoy using them for. So if we look at a year-long chart for gold, we can see that gold is just doing really well. And if you bought back here, your premiums on this would have been a couple of percentage points. You'd have been buying for 2,150, something like that. And you can just go and sell straight away today for 3,000. Maybe not quite 3,000 because spot price is a little under. But you see the point. You don't have to really rely on it. But if you go on silver, and if we do the same thing for a year chart, and if we do an approximately same percentage of premium, you know, if you're buying at 30, if spot's 35 now and you're buying at 52, that's a £17 premium. Let's lower it a little bit because of the percentages here. If you were buying back then at £23 an ounce plus say 15, if you're buying there at £38 an ounce and you're going back to the dealers now, you're only breaking even. And you can see that huge difference between the two metals, silver and gold. And there's a lot of hype and hyperbole and I don't know, fear-mongering is probably the right phrase, and FOMO definitely, fear of missing out on silver. People think it's going to outperform gold, but the real honest truth is that gold outperformed silver over the last year. And that's not even factoring in the premiums and percentages that go on top of silver. Very, very difficult to really justify silver at these prices. So I'm not calling out the dealers because the dealers, they're businesses at the end of the day. It's the market. What I'm calling out are the stupid people. And I'm sorry to say it, it does sound horrible to say, but there are some stupid people out there who will make irrational decisions with large sums of money. Now, it's really hard to say that they're stupid people, but everyone makes mistakes and everyone can learn from a mistake. You're not stupid if you buy and you make a mistake. You then understand the market a little bit better and how it works. You've perhaps bought that kilo of silver and then you're curious to see what you could sell it for. And oh God, you're going to lose 500 quid. You've learned from that mistake. How do you react? You go and make better decisions. That's the mark of learning. The stupid element is the people doing, is what's the very definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people who will do that and who will not see the light. And I've also seen comments, right? So this is the other thing, that people just go, any silver is better than no silver right now, regardless of the price. That's not true, because again, it's about the buy and sell, about where you're going to get that money out. And unfortunately, it's not going to happen for a long time. The markets go up, the markets go down. That is the nature of silver, unfortunately. And, you know, you've just got to look at this year-long chart and we see the peak just about a couple of weeks ago. And then down here, it's looking very similar to some of the other chart history peaks and troughs we've seen over time. You won't see the little dip here, but look at this. It might peak up again, but the downward trajectory potentially will come. Where the bottom line will be, so if we draw an imaginary line out from here, I think there'll be a peak down and it will sit around 25. That's going to be your buy period. Not financial advice, not crystal balling the marketplace, but I think it's very interesting. So calling out dealers for inverted commas profiteering, yes, if they are actively engaging in profiteering, but calling out dealers because they are selling with VAT. And remember, of course, that as silver price increases, the VAT increases, and that's the other crazy thing as well. So if you look back here, if you were buying silver in 2012 Well, let's even go back even further to the lowest points. Where's the lowest one? If you're buying silver back in 2015, £9.32, call it £10 for ease of maths. 20% on top of that is £2. So you're paying £12 for your silver. Now, wait, that's not maths. Yes, no, that's right. £10, £1 is 10%, £2 is VAT. So there you go. But now, £35, that's £7 in VAT. The premium just keeps going up. So you're going to have to rely on bigger swings in the market to get that return back. And I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening, unfortunately. So, yeah, interesting times ahead. I think there are a lot of people who are taking liberties with the idea of having smart investments. They're not going to be smart investments over a long period of time. And there's a lot of people making irrational decisions because of fear and of FOMO and of other content creators. I'm not going to call out individual ones, but there are plenty of them that will make videos almost on a daily basis calling out the silver going up anytime soon and the banks tamping it down and having a go at everyone for not jumping on the bandwagon. There's definitely a mob mentality that comes out of it. It's the sort of dark side of the silver world. But there are a lot of good content creators who will call out the bullshit, will call out the premiums, will call out the stupidness of the marketplace. And I'll leave you with this thought. So what I quite like are the people who buy this stuff brand new with VAT, because ultimately they're the ones that bring the market or bring the silver to the second-hand market. And they will be the ones that will unfortunately make the loss, but that then makes the money for everyone else on the second-hand market. So people like myself and countless others who use the Silver Forum, Stack Social, whatever marketplace it might be, unfortunately, someone's left holding the bag, and it's those people buying these brand new items at those high premiums because they don't know better, and perhaps they don't realise, and they don't take the time to realise. And eventually they're left holding the bag, and that sucks for them, but it's good for everyone else because it means we can get the cheap silver at the low prices, at the low premiums, and have a chance to make money on it. And I've got silver that I've bought. I've nearly all my silver I've bought VAT free over the years, and it's not difficult to do, but you have to work for it. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. It's really quite funny to see the market still be quite so buoyant, and a lot of people really fear of missing out, and there's a lot of people taking advantage of that in terms of selling their silver, and I guess that's fine, like that's market economics and stuff, but I'm not selling my silver. I'm not selling it at the peak, even at the premiums. I mean, could I sell a kilo bar for £1,600? Yeah. Some of the kilo bars I've got in my collection I've bought for £500. I could triple my money on them, but am I doing it? No, because I do think silver's got a lot more to go. So there we go. That's my ramble on the subject today. It's a difficult one. I'd love to know what you guys have got to say. Please do go and check out channel sponsors Atkinson's and Chard's. Listen, Atkinson's not paying very well on kilo bars, but they're a very good dealer, and I've been using them for nearly 10 years. In fact, I have probably been using them over 10 years. I bought my first bits of gold nearly 10 years ago, so I'd highly recommend them. They're really good. And what I would say as well is if you are a customer of theirs and you have kilo bars to sell, give them a ring. They'll probably price match other dealers. Not guaranteed, but they probably will look to price match other people. So definitely worth always asking the question. And go and check out Chard's as well. I have nothing but good things to say about both of these dealers. They're both great, and I've been customers of both of theirs. In fact, we're going to be going up to London again and seeing Chard's very soon, which is going to be really exciting to talk about some of the new coins that are coming out over the next coming weeks and months. So, Cool Kids Club, what should we get you to say? I think we're going to say, don't get left holding the bag. That's your cool kid comment for the Super Squirrel secret giveaway that we're doing for a Silver Britannia. That will be coming out on Friday, that video, where we'll choose a random video and a random comment. So, comment, don't get left holding the bag. And that is your cool kid comment. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks all for watching. And as always, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.